So, you've seen those incredible documentaries, right? The ones with vibrant coral reefs and amazing sea creatures. And maybe you've thought to yourself, man, I wish I could do that. Or, hey, maybe you're just planning a trip and that get certified idea keeps popping into your head. Well, if you're curious about what it's really like to breathe underwater, you are in exactly the right place. Let's jump in.
It's the question everyone starts with, right? We see these stunning images, we hear the stories, but what does scuba diving actually mean? It sounds so simple, but there's a whole lot packed into just those two little words.
Okay, so here's something that blows a lot of people's minds at first. The word scuba isn't the activity, it's the gear. It's actually an acronym. It stands for Self-Contained Underwater Breathing Apparatus. Pretty cool, huh? Over the years, we just kind of dropped the periods and started saying it as one word, scuba. So when we're talking about scuba, we're really talking about the equipment itself. So that's the main thing to remember. Scuba is the gear, diving is what we do with it. And hey, here's a little pro tip for you for when you start your course. We breathe from a cylinder, not a tank. It's a small thing for sure, but it'll make you sound like you know what's up.
All right, so we've got the name down. Now let's talk about the vibe of diving. A lot of people think it's this extreme adrenaline-pumping sport, but that's not really the case. And getting this difference is honestly the key to understanding the whole mindset of a diver.
When you think sports, you think competition, right? You're racing against someone or trying to score points. It's all about high energy, high exertion. Well, scuba diving is pretty much the opposite of that. There's zero competition. In fact, your main goal is to be as relaxed and chill as possible. Why? Because the less you move, the slower you breathe, and the less air you use from your cylinder. And that means you get to stay down there in that amazing world for longer. It's all about slow, calm, peaceful movement.
I absolutely love this quote because it just nails it. It captures the real spirit of diving. It's not about swimming laps or seeing how fast you can go. Some of the absolute best dives are when you find one cool little spot, get your buoyancy just right so you're floating weightlessly, and you just watch. You just wait and see what curious little creature is going to pop out. It's pure observation and exploration.
So now that we have a feel for it, let's zoom out a bit. Because the kind of diving you're going to learn, that fun, exploratory diving, is just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. The world of diving is actually incredibly diverse. You can pretty much break down all of diving into these 5 main categories. And it's really important to see these as separate activities. They're not necessarily steps on a ladder. They're more like different jobs or different hobbies, each with its own goals, its own gear, and its own special training.
First up, and this is the one you're here for, is recreational diving. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's diving for fun, for the sheer joy of it. This is what you'll be learning when you go for that first certification card. This is your ticket to the underwater world. Then you've got tech diving. You can think of this as an advanced type of recreational diving. This is for the folks who want to push the boundaries a little bit, go deeper, stay down longer, or explore places where you can't just swim straight up to the surface, like inside a deep shipwreck or a cave system. It takes way more training, way more gear. It's a serious undertaking. Now, commercial diving, this is a whole different ballgame. We're not talking about a hobby here. This is a job, a tough one. These are the people doing construction, welding, and inspections underwater on things like oil rigs and bridges. It's hard, industrial work, and it's a career path all on its own. Scientific diving is also a job, but with a totally different goal. For these divers, the dive is a means to an end. It's a tool they use to do their research, kind of like a biologist uses a microscope. They're down there to collect samples, study marine ecosystems, and gather data for science. And finally, there's military diving. I mean, this is some seriously high-level, demanding stuff. These divers are carrying out military missions in some of the most challenging conditions imaginable. They are often on the cutting edge of diving technology, and a lot of the cool gear we use today actually trickle down from their world. Okay, so that's the big picture. Pretty cool, right? But let's bring it all back home, back to your first adventure. Let's focus on what really matters to you right now, recreational diving. The specific type of diving you're going to learn is called open circuit scuba. It sounds a little technical, but the idea is super simple. It just means that when you breathe in, you get air from your cylinder, and when you breathe out, you exhale into the water. And poof, that's where all those awesome bubbles come from. It's the most common way people dive all over the world. Now look, the whole thing is built on 2 super important but really simple safety principles. First, you always have a direct path to the surface. no ceilings overhead. Second, you stay within what are called no decompression limits. All that means is you can always swim directly up to the surface safely without having to make any mandatory stops on the way up. Your dive computer makes keeping track of this an absolute breeze.
So you've got the background, you know what it's all about, and you're probably thinking, okay, so how do I actually start? Well, it all leads to getting your certification, what divers call a C card. Your entire journey begins right there by learning open circuit recreational diving. Earning that certification isn't just about passing a test, it's about gaining the skills and confidence to explore safely. That C card, that's your key. It's what unlocks this entire incredible underwater world. And please, remember this. Learning to dive should be a blast. It's just as much fun as the diving you'll do after you're certified. But, and this is a big but, so much of that experience comes down to your instructor. So take a little time, do your research, find an instructor that you click with, someone who makes you feel safe, confident, and excited.
So now that you've seen what scuba diving is really all about, not a crazy sport, but an amazing way to explore a hidden world with a sense of peace and wonder, there's really only one question left to ask. Are you ready to start your own legendary adventure?